The roof is closed at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, as we get set for the next chapter in an illustrious rivalry as the New York Giants meet the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football.
Stand up and cheer, stomp your feet, start clapping. NBC Sunday night about to happen. America's game, been waiting all day. Giants and the boys have come to play. Al, Chris, Michelle, turn it up. It's the NFL, can't get enough. We got a battle tonight, a winner take all, ain't nothing like Sunday night football. It's out of control. Get set, let's go. The clock's winding down. Let's rock and roll. Stand up and cheer, stomp your feet, start clapping. NBC Sunday night about to happen. The hits keep coming and the lights keep flashing. Come on, get ready for the action. Sunday night, Sunday night. Sunday night, Sunday night. Sunday night, Sunday night, Sunday night.
It's another opening, another show at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, with the Dallas Cowboys taking the field. And they're all geared up to face Eli Manning, but not Odell Beckham, out with an ankle injury on Sunday Night Football. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle DeFoy. Well, the Cowboys come off a great season. They were 13-3, led by the spectacular rookies, Dak Prescott at quarterback, Zeke Elliott. Prescott, of course, is ready, raring to go, and so is Elliott, because a judge earlier this week halted what would have been the beginning of a 6-game suspension. This is a team trying to get to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1995. The Giants come off a good year. They were 11-5, ended a 4-year playoff drought. They are a legitimate Super Bowl contender, but will have to do it tonight without a guy who caught 101 passes last season, Odell Beckham Jr. Chris, as we look at this matchup, the Cowboys and the Giants have owned the Cowboys over the last season and a half. 3 straight wins, 2 last year. What's been the recipe?
Well, they did it with defense, didn't they? They were tremendous. I thought they handled Dak and Dez and Ezekiel really better than anybody did. So now they turn the attention to the offensive side. Pick up Evan Ingram, a great-looking young tight end, and Brandon Marshall. So it all comes down to what it always comes down to. Can they protect Eli Manning?
Whenever we cover the Cowboys, never a dull moment, always a lot of drama. No different this time around. What do you think of this team right now?
Well, Dak Prescott's had a year now to study what few mistakes he made a season ago. So the question's on the defensive side for the Cowboys. They lost 3 starters out of that secondary, some key suspensions in the defensive line. So the great unknown in this ball game for me, the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Time to roll deep in the heart of Texas. It's the Giants and the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football.
The millions that have been affected by Hurricanes Harvey and Irma, and to salute the first responders, emergency medical personnel, and thousands of volunteers for their courage and commitment in the rescue and recovery effort. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please join us in singing the national anthem. Presenting tonight's colors is a special Joint Responders Honor Guard, joined by personnel from other state and federal agencies. And performing tonight's anthem, our official anthem trumpeter, Freddie Jones.
About 90,000 looking on tonight. Always a lot of great stories in this rivalry. Here comes another one from Michelle Tafoya. Hi, Michelle.
Hey, Al. Yes, tonight we will see a remarkable moment for Cowboys linebacker Jalen Smith, who is making his NFL debut. Coming out of Notre Dame in 2015, Smith was projected to be a top 5 draft pick, but in his final college game, the Fiesta Bowl, Smith suffered a major left knee injury, tearing multiple ligaments, along with nerve damage, which resulted in foot drop, meaning he could not raise his left foot toward his shin. Many believed he would never play again, but Dallas took him in the second round, and he has spent every day since working toward this moment. Now, he played in the final 3 regular season games and preseason games, and Jason Garrett told us he got better every week. Smith told me before this injury, the game had never been taken away from me. This was definitely humbling, and it taught me to be a better man. Now,
Okay, Michelle, and there is Jason Garrett, who's been the coach since midway through the 2010 season. Ben McAdoo in his second season as the Giants head coach. Started last year with 2 wins, then 3 losses, but the Giants won 9 of their last 11. Each team bounced out of the playoffs last year by Green Bay. Aldrick Rosas, a rookie, will make his NFL debut. He's a big man at 6'3" and 220 from Southern Oregon. And this is the rookie Ryan Switzer, no relation to Barry, who will run it back. Towels waving, always a great scene at AT&T Stadium, which opened in 2009 when the Giants came in and spoiled the debut of Jerry World. So underway from a yard in, Ryan Switzer makes his NFL debut and gets taken down up at the 25-yard line as we take a look at the Dallas offense.
Dak Prescott, Mississippi State.
Ezekiel Elliott, the Ohio State.
Darius Bryant, Oklahoma State.
Cole Beasley, SMU.
Terrence Williams, Baylor.
Jason Witten, Tennessee.
Tyron Smith, USC.
Chaz Green, Florida.
Travis Frederick, Wisconsin.
Zach Martin, Notre Dame.
Lael Collins, LSU.
Almost universally regarded as the best offensive line, but Green at left guard, Collins at right tackle are the new starters, and they begin the year with a drop back pass, and then he puts it down, does Prescott, and gets forced out of bounds after a gain of 5. Jonathan Casillas runs him out. So Prescott, who began the year last year, he was going to probably be the number 3 quarterback before Tony Romo got hurt. Phenomenal season, 23 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. The rating was terrific, the offensive rookie of the year, and he comes up to the line of scrimmage without a huddle. So they pick up the pace early, and it's 2nd down and 4 from the 30-yard line. And here goes Elliott, and Elliott is able to lean forward and pick up a couple of yards before the helmet comes off. Damon Snacks Harrison makes the stop, 3rd and short upcoming.
This guy may be the best run player in the NFL. He has just been phenomenal. We talked a lot about the free agent additions that were made to this team. Olivier Vernon, the great pass rusher. Janoris Jenkins, we'll talk about him out there on Des Bryant. But Snacks Harrison takes care of the interior.
3rd down, about 1.5 yards. From the 33 out of the shotgun. Giants show blitz. Then it's Prescott who keeps it, and he's going to be very close to a 1st down, and that's Harrison again right in the middle of things. The Giants spent a lot of money shoring up that defense last year, and it paid off. Only the Patriots allowed fewer points per game than did New York. Carl Cheffers, who was the referee in the Super Bowl last year, will bring in the change, and it looks, at least with the naked eye, as if he just does have it.
Watch Dak Prescott look this way. He was going to throw a pass out there, did not like it, then had to just scramble. That's one of those plays where you sort of have the option to hand it off or run it that way or just throw it out there hot. Thought he had the hot, didn't have it, and you could see Ezekiel Elliott. He was as confused as anybody.
And they give him the 1st down. McAdoo looking up at the big overhead board. Gave Dallas a pretty good spot there.
Were you surprised when Dak Prescott told us the other day that he weighed 240? I mean, I knew kind of what the weight was, and he said, I'm 240 and about 220 of it are my legs. And you could see it on a pair of shorts. This is a really thickly built guy, and when you lean into him, he doesn't always go down.
Pretty well sculpted for 240.
Yep.
From the 34 now on first down. Here comes Elliott again to the right side, and Elliott gets bounced down at the 37. Let's take a look at Steve Spagnuolo's defense.
Jason Pierre-Paul, South Florida.
Damon Harrison, D. William Penn University.
Jay Bromley, Syracuse.
Olivier Vernon, the U.
Devon Kennard, USC.
B.J. Goodson, Clemson.
Jonathan Casillas, New Brunswick High School.
Janoris Jenkins, North Alabama.
Landon Collins, Alabama.
Darian Thompson, Boise State.
Eli Apple, D. Ohio State University.
And as the Giants introduce themselves, we introduce you to one Cole Beasley, number 11 out of the slot. Had a breakout year last year, first down Dallas.
Leading receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, and now you're starting to see once the Dallas Cowboys can establish anything running the ball, the second major weapon that they have is the ability of Dak Prescott to run those bootlegs, get out of the pocket, and put horizontal pressure on the defense.
Every play run without a huddle, so the Giants unable to substitute. From the 50-yard line, hanging in the pocket, fires, and that's Jason Witten, who before the night is done figures to be the all-time leader for the Cowboys in receiving yards, tackled by the middle linebacker B.J. Goodson, gain of 7, 2nd and 3.
And I would think that's going to be a big part of the plan for the Cowboys tonight. B.J. Goodson taking over at that middle linebacker position in there, and you've got the great Jason Witten working against him inside.
Now you've got Elliott outside, and Elliott then sets up now in the slot. So with the empty backfield, 5 wide.
We're seeing Dak doing a lot of audibling. That's a little different for him this year. Much more in control at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they made it pretty simple early last year, but he learned in a hurry. 2nd and 3. And Prescott fires over the middle, and that's incomplete. Bryce Butler was the intended receiver on slant, and it'll be 3rd down and 3.
One of the great matchups to watch tonight. On the outside, you've got Lael Collins working against Jason Pierre-Paul, who just looked great in the preseason. Lael Collins now taking over for Doug Free at that right tackle position, and that matchup could well decide this game tonight.
3rd down and 3 on the game's opening drive. This is the 8th play for Dallas, all without a huddle. Prescott, clean pocket to the outside, a wobbly pass intended for Dez Bryant and incomplete. So after the Cowboys pick up 2 first downs, Jason Garrett sends in the punt group.
Well, this was the story of last season as well. You're going to get Dez Bryant out here, but Janoris Jenkins really played Dez so tough a season ago, and as soon as the play was over, it was Janoris Jenkins who told us he prefers to be called Jackrabbit, so I would imagine that Dez was just calling him Jackrabbit there.
As he said, you can only catch 1 at a time. You get 2, you get none. Here's Chris Jones. You got Dwayne Harris, and he started to call for the fair catch, and then it's touched by the Cowboys. And at the 5-yard line, Anthony Brown went down there to down it. Here comes Eli and the Giants. United States, George W. Bush at the game tonight with Laura Bush looking on as guests of Jerry Jones. From the 5-yard line, the Giants start with Paul Perkins for a gain of 4. Stopped by Sean Lee. Eli Manning, number 1 pick overall in the draft back in 2004. So he makes his 200th consecutive start. 3rd longest streak by a quarterback in NFL history. There's another Manning who's on that list just ahead of him along with Brett Favre. 2nd down and 7 from the 9-yard line. And Manning throws. That's about a 2-yard gain. That's the rookie Evan Ingram making the catch. And let's take a look at the New York offense.
Eli Manning, Ole Miss.
Paul Perkins, UCLA.
Brandon Marshall, Central Florida.
Sterling Shepard, Oklahoma.
Brett Ellison, USC.
Evan Ingram, Ole Miss.
Eric Flower, All About the U. Justin Pugh, Council Rock High School South.
Weston Richburg, Colorado State.
John Jerry, Ole Miss.
Bobby Hart, Florida State.
For the Cowboys, that was DeMarcus Lawrence who came blitzing through. And it's going to be 4th down. A sack for Lawrence. and the Giants are a very quick 3 and out.
Yeah, there's another one of those stunts that the Cowboys love, and the question's always going to be, we hit on the open a little bit, can Eric Flowers and Bobby Hart hold up at the tackle position this season to protect Eli Manning?
That will be huge. They couldn't do it last year, but the Giants were still 11-5. Brad Wing's kick. Switzer is back there, and the rookie makes a fair catch at the 46-yard line. Cowboys have it at midfield. Each team has had the ball once in Arlington. Here in North Texas, there's downtown Dallas in the foreground, and out we come to Arlington, about a 35-minute drive from downtown Big D. From the 46-yard line, Cowboys begin their second drive. And this is Elliott, last year's leading rusher in the National Football League. To the 48, we go to Michelle.
Well, Dallas wide receiver Terrence Williams is questionable with a left ankle injury. He went back to the locker room for x-rays, and as he tried to get off the bench and make his way back there, he could not put any weight on that foot whatsoever. So he was assisted to the locker room, hopping the whole way, much as he was there, guys.
All right, Michelle, that's why we're going to see more of Bryce Butler, number 19. That's Beasley going in motion to the slot on the right on 2nd down and 4. Fake, and then Prescott throws, and Beasley cannot make a one-handed catch. Covered on the play by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and Jonathan Casillas put the heat on that time to force it. 3rd and 4. Well, what a job Steve Spagnuolo did. He came back to the Giants. He'd been there in 2007 and 8. That led to him getting the head coaching job with the Rams. The first year he came back, they were pretty bad, and then they went out and spent a lot of money on good defensive players, and last year they were terrific. 3rd and 4. To the outside. He's got his man Beasley. Spin move. Rodgers-Cromartie makes the tackle. 1st down for Dallas.
Cole Beasley was telling us that he thought Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, other than Orlando Scandrick on his team, was the best slot corner there was. Very unusual for a guy 6'2" to be a slot corner, but he said he just understands his leverage and where his help is so well. So tough to get open, but that is Cole Beasley's bread and butter route right there.
Elliott through the middle. Elliott equally effective last year, whether he ran inside or outside. So they picked him with the number 4 overall choice in the draft last year. Normally running backs don't go that high out of Ohio State. And boy, did he pay off with not only leading the league in rushing, but by a mile. 1,631 yards, so he averaged over 100 yards per game last season.
And the amazing thing about him is that 87% of his runs went past first contact. So somebody contacted him at some point, and only 13% of the time did that contact bring him down.
2nd and 7 from the 33, and the play clock goes all the way down, and thus Dallas takes a timeout. 7:18 remaining in the first quarter. Meanwhile, Des Bryant held in check last year. Giants won the 2 meetings between these two teams, and he was matched up, Bryant was, with Jenkins. And there they are. I don't know if we're living past glories, because all the glories would belong to the defensive back.
Yeah, that really was a lot of the key to the New York Giants beating them twice. That guy right there, Jackrabbit Jenkins, he was all over him, and we watched it closely. Dez had 1 catch in each game, and in the second game, the 1 catch he had, Janoris Jenkins made him fumble it, and it actually turned the game around completely.
A complete shutdown. 2nd down and 7 now from the 33 after the timeout. Giants on a delayed blitz, deep downfield, and reaching for it and making the catch is Bryce Butler. Great catch. Eli Apple with the coverage on the play, and that's going to be a 1st down and goal, a 30-yard gain.
Well, for my money, Bryce Butler is just about to earn his way onto the field on a regular basis. We have seen this pretty consistently out of him when he gets the chance, and most teams, when they get a chance to go after somebody, it is Eli Apple.
No review. He got his hands underneath it, and now a little fade into the back corner of the end zone. No good. Des Bryant thinks he has the touchdown, but the official right there, Janoris Jenkins, covering. No, sir, not 6 points. 2nd and goal.
Well, it looked like the catch was made. Let's take a look. And then 1 foot down, and does anything else? No, the elbow hits down out of bounds first. He just simply could not get the other foot down. It's the power of the Cowboys here. They can throw it in from here. Their quarterback can run it in, and of course Ezekiel Elliott behind his great line.
Fake to Elliott, then the pass is too high. Intended for Des Bryant, so he's already been targeted 3 times tonight and 0 for 3. 3rd down and goal, and Prescott says my fault.
Going to try and fake this to Ezekiel Elliott and get Landon Collins to come up here and then throw it right behind him. He played it sort of halfway down, but it was Dak just missing the throw. So once again, just cannot get a completion to Des Bryant, and that time Dak Prescott said all me.
You got a stack to the left, and you got Witten coming in motion to the slot on the right. You got Prescott serving and dancing and under pressure and throwing to the end zone, and the flag is down. That pass is too high. So they had a 1st and goal at the 2. And right now it's either going to be 4th down, or we'll see where the penalty will put it and who it's on. Carl Cheffers will make the call in a moment. DJ used to be HL for head linesman. Now it's a down judge.
There's no foul on the play. The quarterback was out of the pocket. 4th down.
And in comes the field goal group.
Jason Pierre-Paul on the outside working against Lael Collins, who's playing right tackle really for the first time, and Collins staying with him pretty well so far. Collins was a left tackle in college, played left guard a season ago before he got hurt.
So Dan Bailey, one of the best in the league, if not the best. This is the old extra point. 21-yard field goal attempt, and there are the first points of the game. They come with 6.5 to go in the opening quarter. 3-0 Cowboys. 7 passes a game, had 10 touchdowns last year. Hurt his ankle in the preseason game against Cleveland 2.5 weeks ago, and he's always been kind of like a question mark as to whether he'd be ready tonight. Of course, he's on the trip. You see him right there. He did work out before the game, just wasn't ready. And now the kick will not be run out, and the Giants get it at the 25. And let's take a look, Chris, at Beckham before the game tonight.
Yeah, we kept a pretty close eye on him, obviously, and it wasn't the way he ran the routes that gave it away. For me, when he ran this route right here, jumped and landed back on that ankle, and then gave you that look, it was like, I don't know. Went over and talked to Ben McAdoo, and for all they want to say about the doctors making decisions, they're involved, but it is the player, the coach, what's best for the long-term interest of the New York Giants, and I think collectively they probably made the right call.
They get an extra day off before their next game, the Monday nighter against Detroit. Meanwhile, there's a little dump pass to Paul Perkins, who has become the Giants' #1 running back. We go to Michelle.
Well, Beckham estimates, Al, that he's been spending 10 hours a day getting treatments, day and night, he told us. Things ranging from laser therapy to chiropractic treatment. And as you said, the key is getting him to the point where he can play without endangering himself of any other harm. I think he's going to go right back to those 10-hour days starting tomorrow.
Yeah, I bet he will when the Giants go home. And as we say, they play the Lions a week from tomorrow night. And we'll see what happens. 2nd down and 5 from the 30-yard line. And Manning under pressure, slips away, and then the pass is incomplete. Intended for Perkins coming out of the backfield. DeMarcus Lawrence, who put early pressure on the first series. Stephen Paya put the heat on Manning. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, let's finish up on Odell just a bit. His game is really about his quickness. I think he is one of the quickest guys in and out of cuts that I have ever seen in my life. Yes, he's fast, but he's not overwhelmingly fast. What is the difference maker on him is that when he makes those cuts, nobody can keep up with him. On that slant, he scored the touchdown on last year. Unbelievable what he can do after the catch.
3rd and 5. Shane Vereen in the backfield. Flare him out. Manning jostled. Gets away. Keeps his eyes downfield. Flag comes in from behind. And the pass is incomplete. So we'll see what the penalty is here. It was a 3rd down and 5 play. Here's Jeffers.
Holding. Number 77 offense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play. 4th down.
2 series for the Giants and still nary a 1st down.
Lawrence going right around the edge here, and I tell you, this is getting to be a mismatch with these tackles again. Eli, a great play to hold on to the football. I thought Lawrence was going to knock it out of his hand, and then right in front of Eli there was John Jerry's hole.
So Wing with his 2nd punt of the night. They almost got to him. The deep kick is fair caught by Switzer at the 30-yard line after a 50-yard boot. 3-0 Cowboys. Shanahan doing a masterful job last year. Points 5th, yards 5th, and rushing 2nd. Only Buffalo gained more ground yards than did the Cowboys last year. From the 29-yard line, Terrence Williams is back in the game. And a short drop, and the pass is caught up at the 38-yard line. So it's the 4th time he goes to Bryant, and it's the 1st time he's able to connect with him. 8-yard gain, 2nd down.
Well, he had 2 big opportunities on the goal line and missed them twice. So sometimes as a receiver, you just want to see the ball back when you do your job and get open. The one thing that they learned was that Janoris Jenkins is a guy you don't want to try and bully. You try and bully him, and he gets better. The focus tonight for Dez Bryant, much more about route running than his typical physical play.
You saw Williams go off the field. Part of the reason was they go to a 3 tight end set on 2nd down and short, and that results in an Ezekiel Elliott 1st down.
Well, here is the very base play of the Dallas Cowboys. When they get this outside stretch going, where all these guys, all these athletes get in front of a great athlete like Ezekiel Elliott, they get that going. That's what sets up the bootleg game of Dak Prescott.
Williams back in now on a 1st down from the 43 of Dallas. And that's deflected at the line of scrimmage by Snacks Harrison. So Prescott started the game 5 of 12 for 70 yards.
Yeah, and even Harrison, 2.5 sacks a season ago, a career high. But what you really want out of those interior guys is a push. So you don't want Dak Prescott to be able to step up into those throws. If he gets the push, it gives those edge rushers a chance to get there.
Now out of a semi-pistol here. With Elliott just off his shoulder. And Prescott guns one to the right side. And that'll set up a 3rd and 1 as Terrence Williams makes the catch on the Giants side of the field at the 48-yard line.
In the 2nd game that was played in New York last year, the Cowboys felt like the Giants hit them with about 6 blitzes that confused them, that they really were unsettled and they made some big mistakes they had not made all season long. And that guy right there, Steve Spagnuolo, was the one that drew him up. So they spent a lot of time being prepared to get in and out of looks that the Giants may end up giving them tonight.
Already the 21st play of the night for Dallas. And that, with forward progress, should result in a 1st down. It does, as they come in to spotted Eli Apple covering Terrence Williams on the play. And Dallas now with 6 1st downs and the Giants with none.
So Terrence Williams hurt his ankle early on. Eli Apple had 2 bad ankles in the preseason. So between them, they have 1 good ankle out there playing against each other.
The 46. Maybe 1.5. Under 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter. The draw, there goes Elliott, and he bangs his way all the way down close to a 1st down at the 36-yard line. So Elliott's already carried the ball a half dozen times tonight for 30 yards, 5-yard average.
When it all goes bad, those 2 guys on the interior for the Dallas Cowboys, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Let's go behind those two guys, and things usually turn out much better.
Did not give him the first down. It's going to be second down about a half yard now. From the 37. Cowboys again going without a huddle. Here goes Elliott. A little spinning around to the 33-yard line. But nothing else. They're tiring out the Giants early.
They are. And that's, I know we've got a lot to talk about off the field with Ezekiel Elliott. You'll forgive us tonight if we just talk about him as a football player. But watch Ezekiel Elliott here. There really was nothing there. Watch this little spin move to get up the field, to pick up that first down and keep those chains moving. He is a true difference maker. And having him in this game tonight, and we didn't know, right, as of a week ago.
Right.
Huge swing with Odell Beckham out for the Giants and Ezekiel Elliott in.
Yeah, who would have thought a couple of weeks ago Elliott would play and Beckham wouldn't. Minute and a half to go. Prescott's going deep downfield. One-on-one coverage is there. Crowd would like a flag but won't get one. It's Bryant. Casillas put the heat on. Jenkins covering on the play. 2nd and 10.
Well, deep down the field, here goes our matchup one more time. Janoris Jenkins just squeezing him into the boundary, and you can see a little bit of the frustration on the part of Des Bryant. Those are two physical guys. Janoris Jenkins won a national championship, University of Florida, 4 state championships at Pahokee High School. He is a competitive son of a gun.
Now Alfred Morris, the former Redskin, comes in. And he gets the ball, swinging to the outside, but nothing happening there. The Giants sealing it. Casillas coming over to make the stop, setting up a 3rd down and 12 now for the Cowboys.
Pretty nice play by B.J. Goodson coming across the field there as well. Not very often that you get off the block of Zach Martin. Watch it right here. Zach Martin out there, a great open field blocker, and Goodson able to just sort of pile it up back there and made the play along with Jonathan Casillas. That was nice.
Rod Smith now comes into the game. He is Jalen's brother. Comes in on 3rd down and 12. Beasley to the slot on the right. Fake to Smith. Then Williams makes the catch. Williams looks for blocking. Williams gets it. Gets down to the 19-yard line. So they convert on a 3rd down and 12. And Williams, who got hurt or injured himself on the first play of the game, had to wonder about him, has come back in to catch 3.
Boy, that was a nice play by Dak Prescott. Had to get it over the outstretched arms there of Romeo Okwara. And when he made that turn, we've seen it happen before. Remember when JPP made that interception a few years ago here? Sure. Just barely got it over the top and set up that big play.
Elliott comes back into the game, and they will let the clock run down to the end of the quarter. So the Cowboys ran 26 plays in the first quarter, and the Giants ran 6. First down Dallas when we come back to start the second quarter. End of 1. It's 3-0 Cowboys, and Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. Is brought to you by Geico. AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Opened in 2009, and the Giants with Eli Manning ruined the party that night, coming away with a win. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. First down at the 19-yard line as we begin the second quarter. And we start with Elliott, and he's not taken down in the backfield by Harrison, but he's able to push him back, and then Jason Pierre-Paul gets credit for the tackle. Loss of 7.
Boy, Snacks Harrison is just so dominant. I hope you can enjoy this inside, what he can do, and then JPP is going to clean it up on the outside. But Travis Frederick, arguably the best center in the National Football League, and just no match on the outside, and then JPP able to clean it up. Big play on first down.
2nd and 17.
Steven, jump over there.
A lot of gesticulating. Prescott throws over the middle, a little too high. A flag is down. Cole Beasley was the intended receiver.
Yeah, I think La'el Collins had a little takedown there.
Holding. Number 71 offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
One of the hardest things is when a great athlete gets low around the edge. Watch JPP dip his shoulder here and get underneath. And Collins just has no choice but to kind of hook him and fall on top of him. And that look, despite you can see La'el Collins putting up both arms, but to no avail.
Giants Accept the penalty. Could have been 3rd and 17. They opt for defensively a 2nd and 27 from the 36-yard line. Collins comes into the slot. Prescott fires, and that will be caught at the 25-yard line by Jason Witten to make it 3rd down and 16, and that's a gain of 11 for Witten. And Witten now owns the Cowboy team record for career receiving yards, eclipsing the mark held by Michael Irvin for so many years.
I'll tell you, you break a record with the Dallas Cowboys, pretty impressive, isn't it? Ezekiel Elliott last year, I started looking at some of the Cowboys records he broke, and you think, oh, that's Emmett, that's Tony Dorsett, that's pretty impressive.
Crowd cheering. They put that note up on the big board on a 3rd down and 16 now from the 25-yard line. Prescott, he's going to get taken down at the 31-yard line by Olivier Vernon. Came over from Miami last year as a free agent and helped cement that defensive line. 4th and 22.
This was some kind of a screen pass, and yet Olivier Vernon, because you'll see Zach Martin's going to sneak out on the screen, but he didn't get a big enough piece of him, and then Dak Prescott was looking to the backside, not looking to the screen side. So that's the 2nd time I think that Dak has tried to do something off course and got burned for it.
48-yard field goal attempt for Bailey coming here. And Bailey splits the uprights. Giants are fortunate. They've run 6 plays to 29, have 1 total yard, and they're only down 6-0. 2004, taking over for Kurt Warner. Since that time, the Cowboys have the best record in the NFC East. But look at the number of starting quarterbacks. Cowboys and Eagles each with 12, Redskins with 10, and the Giants with 1. 200 straight starts, and of course 8 postseason wins, and they came 4 by 4 when they won a couple of Super Bowls, both against New England.
It helps.
Yeah.
Those 2 guys played a lot of football games, didn't they?
Oh, and there's Peyton Manning in repose during retirement, enjoying a lot of different trips and playing a lot of golf, and here tonight. Dwayne Harris, 2 yards in the end zone. And Harris with a good run back, but a flag comes down. And almost always it's against the returning team. So we'll see if this one stands. Likely not. And Carl Cheffers will inform us.
Looked like the Cowboys' Damian Wilson sort of got dragged to the ground. Couldn't see exactly who it was.
During the return, holding, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Even Carl doesn't know who it was.
It's all right. That'll way to back me up, Carl.
Consecutive starts by a quarterback. Brett Favre, 297. Unbelievable. Peyton, 208 before he had to go down and miss the entire year, and then wound up with Denver. Eli now at 200. Archie and Olivier. Some pretty good genes passed on, huh?
Yeah, they didn't raise no fools either. They know how to get that ball out of their hands. And it's one of the problems I think the Giants have is until they get this protection issue shored up a little bit, they can't take advantage of some of these great receivers they have now.
So the penalty takes them back to the 11-yard line. Toss Perkins, looking for room. It's taken down after a 4-yard pickup. Sean Lee tracking him to the sideline. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Well, we've talked about it a little bit, but the focus and the conversation for this Giants team really about these 2 tackles. I mean, there aren't major weaknesses anywhere else. Eric Flowers spent a lot of time in the offseason, lost weight, boxing, getting quicker. On the other side, Bobby Hart's, he's already struggled a little bit. They work hard, but one of the things the Giants have to do is start giving them some help if they can't pass protect.
And Hart was limping. Meanwhile, Manning has to check it down, and the Giants will get their first down of the game as Sterling Shepard makes the catch forced out by Orlando Scandrick. So it takes the Giants more than 18 minutes to get a first down.
So you're going to get a lot more of this kind of look now. They have Rhett Ellison in there, which for a lot of teams is going to signify, okay, they're going to try and run the ball. So the Giants want a lot more play action. They want to give you run looks down the field and then try and come off of it and try and get some balls down the field. That's a pretty big shot at the end of that one.
Perkins played his college ball at UCLA to the 29. Rashard Jennings was their leading ground gainer last year. Let him go. So they've got Perkins and Shane Vereen and Orleans Darkwa are the 3 backs. They're all kind of like scat backs. So it's a different kind of offense. No real pounder. And they hope that Perkins can fill the bill. Second year, 5th round draft choice out of UCLA. And he picked it up last year, week 17, with 102 yards. That earned him the starting spot going into camp. 2nd down and 7. Here he is again, and the Cowboys are right there to stuff him in the middle. Tackle made by Lee. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Giants.
There he is, Jalen Smith. You've heard so much about him out of Notre Dame. Had the knee injury, so tragically, really, in his final game of his college career against Ohio State. Spent all last year rehabbing that knee. And now, because of the injury to Anthony Hitchens, he is going to have to fill that role. Justin Durant and Jalen Smith going to basically split snaps tonight.
Yeah, they have to limit Jalen's pitch count. Vereen in the backfield on a 3rd and 4. Play clock down to 3. Manning, after juggling it, throws, but short. Shepard makes the grab there. And it will be 4th down.
That was a great play by Sean Lee. Sean Lee is one of the smarter guys that plays football. He saw this route combination coming at him. He started to come out there and break the other way, but he saw it. Oh, let me drop that guy and come back in and get him. He just understands football.
Great adjustment. Giants pick up 1 first down, have to punt again. Brad Wing's 3rd kick of the night. Angled toward the sideline and out of bounds at the 21-yard line. 9.5 to go to the half. 6-0 Dallas. Keith leading the charge right now. Cowboys have it from the 21-yard line off play action on a reverse roll, and he throws that one behind Witten and incomplete. Dak now 9 out of 18, 107 yards. Take a look at those standings right there. Justin Thomas, of course, has been hot in the chase. Dustin Johnson
How
is
about those
3rd.
top 3?
Yeah, pretty good.
Can they play a little bit?
Just a little.
Speaking of playing a little bit, this Giants defense has been on the field a lot.
Yep.
End of the first quarter, they're on pace for 104 plays they're going to have to defense.
2nd down and 10, and here's Morris. 3 big years with Washington, then came over here.
The star of the Giants defense so far has been this guy without question. Damon Snacks Harrison, playing against one of the best offensive lines in football, has just made play after play, using his quickness, using his size, pushing the pocket back. He is absolutely one of the best. I hope you can take your eyes off the quarterback occasionally and watch some of these other guys play great football.
Signed last year with the Giants, just moved locker rooms. He's been with the Jets. 3rd and 6. Prescott on a slant to Williams. Off to the races he goes. Terrence Williams out of bounds just shy of midfield. So on a 3rd and 6, he's good for 23 yards.
Yeah, the old Green Bay Packers kind of play. You're just going to bring him underneath. The other 2 receivers basically just kind of create a pile in there where Eli Apple can't get over the top. So not really picks, just sort of natural traffic that he had to get around.
Cowboys going no huddle here from the 48-yard line. Elliott swinging to the right, and he was able to get by Goodson for a couple of more yards, a gain of 5 overall. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
That's unbelievable. I've seen jump cuts before, but not one that went 7 yards. Look at that. And he breaks a tackle at the end of it against the middle linebacker.
Let me hear that sound effect again.
I only have one. Let's hear it again.
That's it. Halfway through the quarter, it's 2nd down and 5. Elliott just short of the 1st down, 1.5 yards or so. B.J. Goodson, 2nd year out of Clemson, takes over as the Giants' middle linebacker, stops him there.
Yeah, he can run, can he? He played at Clemson. He was a part of the team that got beat by Alabama in the national championship game. Only played 13 snaps a season ago, but a downhill bumper kind of guy. If you're trying to run the ball, he's the perfect guy.
Takes the spot of last year's starter, Kelvin Shepard. 3rd and 2. Off the play fake again, and the pass is incomplete. Bryce Butler covered by Eli Apple.
Oh, baby, they had one because they were bringing the pressure inside. And if Eli Apple doesn't undercut this and make this play, there's nobody else back there. That is really nicely done in a big moment in the game. Jot that one down somewhere. That one may be remembered by the time this one's over with.
Chris Jones to punt. His 2nd of the night. Dwayne Harris, ex-Cowboy, back at the 10-yard line.
It feels like the Cowboys are just controlling everything and got pulled away.
17 minutes of possession time to 6. And a fair catch call for back at the 8-yard line. So once again, the Giants begin deep in their own territory with Dallas up by 6. Kickoff and not a minute earlier. As you look at some of the artwork outside of AT&T Stadium here in Arlington, and that artwork that you just saw is outside the Star in Frisco, where the Cowboys train. Spectacular facility. From the 9-yard line, this is Orleans Dart Club, and he gives them a little boost in a running game that has been dormant. A gain of 11 and a 1st down.
Yeah, we end up now with a new addition to the Giants this year, Rhett Ellison, who comes over and lined up in the fullback position, so you can bring in the additional tight end, play him on the line, play him sort of on the wing, or line him up at fullback. So some of the versatility that they didn't have with this offense a season ago. They played 3 wide receivers, 1 back, 1 tight end, 90% of the plays last year. No team in the league came close to that.
From the 21-yard line. Off play action and a roll by Manning and a pump fake and a throw underneath. And it's a short gain with a flag, and that's Evan Ingram, their #1 draft choice, tackled there by Sean Lee. Carl Cheffers and his crew to give us the call.
Ineligible player downfield, number 70. 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Center, Weston Richburg. Talk about the artwork here. Of course, Gene Jones. Jerry and Gene have been married 50 some odd years, and it's a real family affair with the Jones family.
Boy, isn't it? Charlotte, Steven, Jerry Jr. But Gene got to do the introduction for Jerry at the Hall of Fame, and with good reason. Those two have been a pretty amazing partnership over the years.
You bet. Met at the University of Arkansas. From the 16-yard line. Manning under pressure, a little dump pass, and it's smothered. Darkwa makes the catch, and Lawrence and company in on the tackle.
Chidobe Awuje making the play on the outside. Eli wanted to throw the quick screen to the outside, and Awuje is going to come up and undercut the block, took that away, and then Eli Manning had to go to plan B.
Loss of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 16. Vereen in the backfield with Eli. 4-man rush. Manning fires, had some time out to the 20-yard line. Boy, Lee's been on almost every tackle, and the ball came out, and the Cowboys all signal that they have it, but nothing yet. Sterling Shepard made the catch. And as they unpile, he will come up with the football. So the Giants retain possession. It's a gain of 5. Look here. Smith comes in there. Lee has been in on everything. Sean Lee almost comes up with it, but Shepard able to reclaim it. We think.
Well, I don't know who got it back, but that ball looked like it was loose before his backside hit the ground, and a clear recovery by Sean Lee. I think you're going to get a challenge here.
So Garrett just saw that, and here comes the flag. But they might have ruled the play dead, and so there's no challenge as Manning, under pressure again, throws to the outside, and not much happening there for Shane Vereen. A flag here. I think that Garrett was told that the whistle had blown and the play had been blown dead.
That's the only thing, and Jason Garrett was there. He was talking to the official, and if that official had said, no, I ruled forward, progress had been stopped, and it's not going to do you any good to challenge it, I think that's probably what that conversation was.
Another flag on this last play. It would be 4th and 13. Had a lot of flags tonight, but only 3 accepted penalties.
There's no foul on the play. The coach was considering a challenge. 4th down.
So he was out of the coach's box, so it would have been a foul, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But you could see Jason Garrett knew exactly what it was that he was looking for, and the official basically talked him out of it, and I think said, I blew the play dead before they went to the ground, and then you can see Jason putting the red hanky back in his pocket. But so far, this Giants offense, or let's give credit to the Dallas defense, has been dominant.
Brad Wing, and this is a very short, poor kick, but it stays inbounds, and we have another flag as it rolls dead at the 45-yard line.
Well, if your offense can't move the football to give your defense a rest, I guess penalties are the next best thing. At least they get to breathe a little bit. This has been all Giants defense on the field in this half, and it's hot out here.
Roof is closed.
During the kick, holding, number 31 receiving team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down, timeout.
3:48 to go to the half. 6-0 Dallas. Text Red Cross to 90999 to donate $10 to the American Red Cross Hurricane Relief. A Tuesday night at 8 Eastern and Pacific, 7 Central. Hand in hand to benefit for hurricane relief, featuring a telethon live from New York, Los Angeles, and Nashville. I hope we can stop reading those promos pretty soon. It's been crazy. As Elliott takes it around the left side, and that will be a 1st down, a 10-yard pickup for Zeke.
We haven't talked much about Chaz Green, the new left guard up there for the Dallas Cowboys, but he got out and he made a block on that one. If he can do some of this stuff in front of Ezekiel Elliott, look like Zach Martin on the other side. Nicely done.
From the 45. Cowboys with 180 yards tonight. The Giants with 41 to this point. And about 3 more here as Witten picks up short yardage, pushed back by Goodson. 2nd down.
How much you think Odell Beckham's missed by the New York Giants so far? You know what's happened, Al, on that side of the ball? The Cowboys have been able to stay balanced on defense. You know, you have an Odell Beckham on the field. You have to help that way. I thought they might dress him tonight and just put him out there and see if the Cowboys still tilted their defense that way and help those other receivers get some opportunities.
2nd and 6. Elliott swings to the outside. Puts his shoulder down and bulldozes his way to a 1st down. That's the sign for feed me. Keep feeding me.
Yeah, believe me, they're going to keep feeding him. And Zach Martin in the open field, and there's Eli Apple, Ohio State guys, right? Both of them.
Well, Elliott made his debut last year against the Giants here and gained 51 yards in that game. Already has 55 tonight on 12 carries. And a few more here. as he takes it to the 36-yard line, and that's going to take us inside 2 minutes to the 2-minute warning. Dallas 6 and the Giants nothing. Packers win at home. Also the latest on Hurricane Irma from NBC News coming up at the half. Downtown Dallas, they're 2nd down and 4 now with Morris in the backfield. 1:56 to play in the half. Blitz coming. Prescott going downfield. A little hand fighting there, and a flag coming in. He had Bryant and Jenkins pushing and tugging, and it's going to go against the Giants.
Pass interference. Number 20, defense. Automatic. First down.
I can just tell you personally, I would not have thrown that flag. I don't think you can play defense better than that. He got his head around. He pinned him into the sideline. There's some hand fighting. Those are big guys. I wouldn't have thrown that flag.
I'm with you. I'm not sure he could have stayed in bounds, and he caught it anyway. 21-yard penalty. Elliott back in. Little swing. Elliott makes the catch and gets taken down by Collins at the 13-yard line. Haven't called Landon's name a lot. Boy, he played spectacularly last season. That run back that he had in London against the Rams was one for the ages on an interception.
125 tackles, 5 interceptions, and 4 sacks. Only Rodney Harrison had ever put together those kind of numbers, and that was back in the year 2000. Finished 3rd in the Defensive Player of the Year rankings, and he was that spectacular.
2nd and 7 out from the 13-yard line. Fake. Caught. Touchdown, Jason Witten. You run play action with Elliott, boy, that's going to open up a lot of stuff.
Ezekiel Elliott gets it going, running the football. Now watch what happens to the linebackers. You go play fake. Now there's nothing underneath to support Eli Apple on the outside. You get big Jason Witten going right towards the corner, cuts right back to the inside. There's nothing underneath that, and not much you can do.
Extra point by Bailey is good. So on a night when Witten becomes the all-time Cowboy leader in receiving yardage, he scores the first touchdown of the Cowboy season. 13-0. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. By Subway, so much sandwich. And by Bud Light, brewed to be enjoyed responsibly. New Ring of Honor walk at the Star in Frisco. 16 of the 21 members in the ring attended the ceremony. You know, we've been around the league, Chris, and we've seen a ton of facilities, and what a difference from the old days. But what the Jones family and the Cowboys have built in Frisco is over the moon.
It still sets a standard, but we haven't been to Atlanta yet. We go down there next week. I can't wait to see that one either. Minnesota pretty strong right now, the one we'll be in for the Super Bowl this year.
Right. The stadiums we're talking about, the stadiums, but also the practice facilities. I mean, that practice facility that the Cowboys have is unbelievable. Tourist attraction. Back to the touchdown we go. What?
All right, let's go back. We showed you part of it. Watch Jason Witten go right at the cornerback, Eli Apple. And now what are you going to do? Eli Apple's in a zone coverage on the outside. All that linebacker supposed to be underneath coverage gets sucked up, nowhere to go.
150 or more catches against one team. Jerry Rice against the Falcons, who were in that division at that particular time. And the Rams, Fitzgerald against the Rams and the Niners. Witten 150 against the New York Giants. Start this series with Shane Vereen in the backfield. Cowboys up 13-0, 141. Giants have all of their timeouts. Manning, good protection, incomplete. Pass intended for Sterling Shepard, a little wide. It'll be second down.
I think Odell Beckham needs to call his agent at halftime and say, we need to ask for a lot more money. These guys aren't doing anything without me out there. And that would be absolutely true. And let's give a little tip of the cat to Rod Marinelli and what he has done. It's amazing they could reshuffle this defense the way they have and play like this.
Meanwhile, I haven't called Brandon Marshall's name once tonight. And that's caught, and it's an 8-yard gain for Vereen before he gets bounced out of bounds. Picked up Marshall from the Jets, big offseason acquisition. Nothing tonight. 3rd down and 2 here.
Yeah, maybe Shane Vereen can wake him up because he is the receiving back, and he did that in New England. But they have to get some of these guys involved. Evan Ingram is supposed to be the focal point. They have to get him involved in some way.
Marshall being covered bottom of the screen by the rookie Uze, and the pass is thrown behind Marshall that time. So it's 4th down and another 3 and out, and the Giants in almost 29 minutes of action have 2 first downs.
That's on Eli. Brandon Marshall was in the right spot. He's coming around Sean Lee right here. The hole should have been right there. Eli was forced. He was under pressure. But Brandon Marshall was in the right spot, and Eli tried to throw it right over the head of Sean Lee.
Punt number 5 now for Brad Wing. And a sky-high boot. It's fair caught at the 24-yard line. Well, or not. The Giants said, wait a second. Didn't he put his hand up the way he caught it? But he never did. It almost looked like he had called for it the way he reacted after he made the catch.
He's sick of fair catching them.
Yeah.
This guy was an unbelievable return guy. North Carolina, they just.
Receiver gave himself up at the 24-yard line, first down.
He gave himself up is what he did, yeah. Gets a laugh out of that. Yeah, he didn't call for a fair catch, even though Lewis figures, well, he must have. Now, Lewis doesn't want to get penalized.
I think they gave him the yardage, didn't they?
No.
I think he said he never gave himself up.
Well, it's at the 24-yard line after a 43-yard kick.
Let's do the math.
Yep. Hold on a second. I got to get the abacus out here. Now Prescott. Rolling, buying time, firing, caught. Williams, 38-yard line. They can get to the line of scrimmage in a hurry. They have 2 timeouts to the Cowboys.
You're right again.
Right. No. What do you mean again?
He did not give him the yardage on that punt return.
The 38-yard line. Witten makes the catch, and he gets out of bounds. So Jason Witten, he doesn't get out of bounds. They said he was forced out.
The forward progress. Right.
So 5 catches for 39 yards, and the clock keeps on ticking. From the 43-yard line, 2nd and 5. And that's Williams making the catch up at the 49. Surprised that they're not going to take a timeout here. Now they do.
I'm going to tell you, I don't know how the New York Giants defense and pass rushers are still on their feet. This has been so dominant, and the Giants offense can't get out of their own way. And basically, for all the scrap and all the fight the Giants have put up defensively, their offense basically is wearing them out. The Cowboys came out in the no-huddle offense right from the beginning. Okay, fine, our offense will come out and take care of it. But for Steve Spagnuolo, this was his worst nightmare. Remember, we're talking about opening night here. These guys haven't played more than a half of football. I guarantee you there's going to be some conversations going into the tunnel at halftime between the defensive guys and the offensive guys saying, hey, it's time for you guys to pick up the pace a little here.
From the 49 now. Prescott 16 of 26 for 174. He's going to run. He's going to get the first down and a lot more to the 34-yard line. And now the Cowboys, if they want to conserve their timeout, and they don't, they take it here. It looked like Prescott wanted to come to the line and spike it there. That's a 17-yard run, and they take their final timeout.
One of the things the Giants knew is if Dak Prescott goes this way, typically he runs. If he goes to the side, typically he finds receivers and throws the ball. So when he's stepping up and through, you better be ready for this. Because at 240 pounds and that kind of movement skills, it's going to be tough to handle. JPP almost got there, but he is a tough guy to bring down with an arm tackle. The speed on the edge of Olivier Vernon and Jason Pierre-Paul has been neutralized by the fact that they've had to play close to, what, 45 plays or so at this point.
Exactly 45 at this point. 18 for the Giants.
A little like the Super Bowl and what happened to the Falcons defense in overtime.
Prescott fires. Witten, he's going to try to get out of bounds, but can't. They're going to have to get to the line of scrimmage in a hurry and spike it with the clock running down. 14, 13, and that will stop the clock with 10 seconds. And it will make it 3rd down and 1. They're in a very interesting position right now, because they'd like to be able to run a play, take a shot at the end zone if nothing else, and instead I think they're going to opt for the 3 points. Not saying it's a sure 3 points, but you get Dan Bailey pretty close.
And why not? If you could come out of here with 16-point lead and a completely dominant performance, you have to think there's no way this Giants defense is going to be able to regroup after playing that number of plays, and you haven't seen anything to scare you out of the Giants offense so far.
42-yard attempt. Jones to put it down. Bailey to knock it through with 5 seconds to halftime. 16-0 Dallas on top. Week 1 concludes tomorrow. Monday Night Football doubleheader on ESPN, and Week 2 kicks off Thursday Night Football on NFL Network with Houston against Cincinnati. You know, Chris, we talk about the Giants defense getting gassed. The average number of plays run by a team in a game last year was 64. So right now, Dallas has run 47 plays, which computes to 94 plays on a hot night inside.
Yeah, and they've got this roof closed, and you and I, despite the fact we're so well conditioned athletes, we were asking for a fan.
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine what the Giants are feeling like defensively out there.
Major diets that we're on.
Yeah. Discipline. It's not a bad performance by this Giants defense. I mean, to just give up 16 points with the way the Cowboys were going up and down the field and the way their offense played, not bad at all.
16 first downs for Dallas and 2 for the Giants. And they'll take it at the 25 with most likely a kneel down. The Giants will get the ball to begin the second half.
Well, you take Odell Beckham off and you start looking and you go, who's the playmaker now? I really thought that Evan Ingram was going to play a huge role in this first half. I didn't know what Brandon Marshall was going to do. He was out, didn't practice a lot. But Ingram was the guy, and they're getting the matchup they were looking for. They were getting some linebacker matchup one-on-one, and he just has not been a factor.
Dominant first half by the Dallas Cowboys. At the half, it's 16-0. Coming up next, it's the halftime. But first, these messages from your local station.
Up until you stomp your feet, start clapping. NBC Sunday night about to happen.
Time to roll deep in the heart of Texas. It's the Giants and the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Jason Witten now owns the Cowboy team record for career receiving yards. Prescott, he's going to get taken down. Olivier Vernon caught, touchdown, Jason Witten.
Chevrolet, the most awarded car company 3 years in a row.
Back to Arlington, Texas, 16-0 the Cowboys at the break. Eli Manning, 8 of 12. The Giants have hardly had the football. 33 yards passing tonight. On the other side, Dak 17 of 28 with 1 touchdown through the air. You've got Witten passing Michael Irvin for the most receiving yards in Cowboy history and scoring the first touchdown of the Cowboy season. 47 plays in the first half, most for Dallas in 10 years. 47-19 the play count. The Giants only 2 first downs in the first half. They will get the ball and see what they've cooked up in the locker room at halftime. Has to be something different. Dan Bailey to put it in the air and deep enough to affect a touchback. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, Al, I asked Ben McAdoo how he's going to help out his offensive line, and he said, don't just blame the line. There is plenty of blame to go around. We are a better team than we're showing. He said, we've got to keep our defense off the field, and that's got to start with our offense controlling the ball. As for Jason Garrett, very pleased with his defense, saying they're doing a, quote, really nice job. They'll be without Orlando Scandrick. He is out with a left hand injury. Garrett said the young DBs just have to go play, Al.
You're right, Michelle, and that's something we need to talk about, what the Cowboys did on defense, because they revamped that secondary, and they've been terrific thus far. From the 25-yard line, they start with Darkwa in the backfield, and Manning's going to get swallowed up at the 19-yard line. So the second half begins ominously with Paya and Lawrence converging on the sack.
Across the board, there's Nolan Carroll, who is going to be on Shepard down the field with a little help from Byron Jones. They tried to look at the crossing route coming across here, anything to get Ingram going, but believe me, Cowboys understood he was their #1 threat, and Eli choosing the lesser of two evils.
Second sack for the Cowboys tonight. On 2nd and 16. Eli throwing, again it's short. Up to the 23 goes Vereen. It'll be 3rd down and 12 for New York.
Really, Eric Flowers has done okay over on the left side. Bobby Hart on the other side, struggling a bit. You know, there's DeMarcus Lawrence with some pressure there. One more time, almost got the strip sack out on that time. And one more time going to the backside before the play made, again by Lawrence.
The Giants tonight have not crossed their own 35-yard line. 3rd and 11. Manning downfield, and he's got a man open finally, and that's Roger Lewis. So Lewis playing a little bit more tonight, even though it's his first catch because of the injury to Beckham. 22-yard gain.
Well, there it is. It's just a zone defense, not really on Nolan Carroll. There's the hole in the cover 2 defense, and young guys back there, they finally found something that worked. That was a big play. You just can't imagine if they had gone off the field on that one, the defense would have been in a tough spot.
Giants' longest play of the night had been 12 yards. That's good for 22. Now they run the end around to Sterling Shepard, and he gets a little bit of running room. Jalen Smith makes the tackle at the Cowboys' 48-yard line. 2nd down and let's call it 3.
Yeah, Eric Flowers was in pretty good position to block Jalen Smith, and if he had, this one might still be running. Flowers just flat out missed, and the speed of Jalen Smith able to track him down. But at least they're going a little creativity here to start the second half.
Send Perkins out wide right, go 5 wide. Marshall's in the slot at the bottom. Manning looked that way and then throws, and if it's caught, that will be a 1st down. And it is, as Sterling Shepard goes to the ground and makes the catch. 1st down, Giants.
Well, there's one of those new looks that they've been talking about. They had the fullback, Shane Smith, who they didn't have on the team a season ago. They had the blocking tight end, Rhett Ellison, in the game. For all the world, it looked like it was going to be a run formation. They went spread with that personnel group and threw the ball. So a little creativity here in the second half.
Had to do something different. Put Ellison in at the fullback position. Perkins dots the I. And they give it to Perkins. Still can't get a running game going. The Giants, as you mentioned before, of course, last year, what they call 11 personnel, which means 1 running back, 1 tight end, and that means 3 wide receivers. They did that about 90% of the time.
Yeah, and they really felt like, you know, we were talking to Eli Manning about it, that it made it too easy for the other team to practice against them. So most teams you have to defend 3, 4, 5, 6 different personnel groups, and basically against the Giants, because the way they were built, they just stayed in that 1 personnel group.
On 2nd and 9, Manning throwing, and that's caught at the 36-yard line. They go to Shepard there, and another 3rd down coming up. 3rd down and 3 for the Giants.
Yeah, it just sort of mixes things up, doesn't it? I mean, you've got Sterling Shepard, a guy that, you know, playing a little bit of the outside role now and having to play and make some plays because that's where Odell Beckham would have been. It just confuses the issue. I think Shepard in the slot, Ingram in the slot, let those guys play it out and play to their strengths.
4 punts and then the halftime break. The Giants thus far At least they're almost in field goal range here. 3rd down and 3. And Manning throws, and that's caught. That'll be another 1st down. And that is Evan Ingram. Again, he's their #1 draft choice, a rookie out of Ole Miss.
Well, he's just so athletic. If you can find a way to just get the ball in his hands, working against Heath here, zone defense going back the other way, and he doesn't break this tackle this time, but you give him enough opportunities and he's going to do that. He is almost like Sterling Shepard is. His ability in the open field to get open. They're starting to get the ball in his hands along with Sterling Shepard.
118, what's that?
From the 30, off play action. Manning has time, throws. Shepard's been a busy man of late. Pays the price here. Gets banged down after a gain of about 6 yards. 2nd down and 4. And for Shepard tonight, he's caught 6 of Manning's 14 completions.
It is kind of interesting to see all the different defensive back combinations. You know, so many of these young guys that they were counting on when they drafted them, Chidobe Awuzie and Jordan Lewis and Xavier Woods, and had a lot of injuries in preseason, didn't get a lot of work.
118, what's that?
And this time they fake the end around, set up a nice looking screen to Vereen, and he gets the ball down to the 15-yard line for a Giants 1st down.
So they run the reverse one time, they fake the reverse and get the ball back in the hands of Shane Vereen back on the backside. And I think for Rod Marinelli, this is by far the most creativity he's seen so far out of the New York Giants. They have really mixed things up. Nice job adjusting at halftime.
So the Giants had, as you look at Peyton Manning, the Giants had 2 1st downs in the first 30 minutes, and they have 4 on this drive. From the 21, toss, Perkins, gain of a couple.
So here we go. This time 2 tight ends, 2 backs in the game, something you just didn't see, and just play a little power football. Look like the Dallas Cowboys every once in a while. Now, if you can get that going just enough, what they're hoping is that they can get to their play action passing game, fake some of that, freeze those pass rushers, and then work the ball down the field more than they have a season ago.
12th play of this drive coming. 3 runs, 8 passes.
All right. Eli thinks he caught him on a slot blitz, and here they come. He's right.
Play clock at 0 as they snap it, and it's caught by Sterling Shepard. Boy, they just did get that off, if indeed they got it off.
Anthony Brown, he saw it all the way, and Eli said, ho, 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 here he comes right there. I'm going to throw it right in behind him. Perfectly done. That's what a veteran quarterback can do for you. He saw it. The young player tipped it, and Anthony Brown, and Eli took advantage.
They've had the ball for half the quarter. 7:30 to go in the 3rd on a 1st and goal from the 5-yard line.
Brandon Marshall, your jump ball threat. Big guy on the outside if you want him.
Hasn't caught a pass tonight. Keep it on the ground. Perkins cannot get free. It's about 1.5 yards just outside the 3-yard line. 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get great blocking on the outside out of Evan Ingram. That's the trade-off that you're going to get. He was doing his best on that one, but that's not really what he does. He's not going to be able to handle Tyrone Crawford on the outside blocking.
2nd and goal. 14th play of the drive. Manning gets sacked back at the 13-yard line. Charles Tapper, 2nd-year guy out of Oklahoma, picks up the sack.
So Brandon Marshall's on the outside, and it looked like it was going to be one-on-one. In reality, it wasn't, because Jeff Heath was right there. So what Nolan Carroll could do was jump to the outside of Marshall, and then when Eli saw it wasn't there, he just had to eat it.
9-yard sack. 3rd and goal. He's gone down 3 times tonight. Been on the ground 8 other times. Play clock at 2. Manning surveys, goes to the outside and going to his knees to make the catch as Lewis, but that's going to make it 4th down at the 8-yard line. Well, at least the Giants got something going. 15 plays to go 68 yards. They had 5 first downs, but they're going to have to settle for 3 points.
You can see the frustration of Ben McAdoo. He was almost thinking about whether or not he felt like he had to go for it in that situation or not. But at the very least, Al, mission accomplished on giving his defense halftime off and then a good long drive to start this half.
Aldrich Rosas is the new Giants place kicker. He was perfect in preseason. 25-yard attempt and his first ever field goal. Splits the uprights at AT&T Stadium. They had the ball almost 10 minutes, settled for 3 at 16-3. Former Cowboys quarterback and current head coach of the Waxahachie Indians, John Kitna. So we were here last year when John Stephen led his team to the state championship. Never seen Jerry happier.
And for sure, Stephen Jones happy.
For sure. Run back here. This is Ryan Switzer, the rookie from North Carolina, and taken down. Good tackle by the former Cowboy Dwayne Harris out in the open field. So the Cowboys will have the ball for the first time in the second half when we come back to Arlington. Geico and the SNF 2017 symbol right there in downtown. Back we come to AT&T Stadium as Zeke Elliott takes the ball out to the 20-yard line for a gain of 3 yards.
Jonathan Casillas really had Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield and just could not lay a finger on him. It was just a 2-yard gain, but it could have been a 2-yard loss. Jonathan Casillas really sort of the emotional leader of that New York Giants defense. B.J. Goodson calling the plays in the huddle, but Casillas is the one that gets him going.
2nd and 8. Short drop and a first down, and Des Bryant scoots away, and Collins will be taken for a ride all the way down to the 45-yard line. Biggest play of the night for Des Bryant. Only a 2nd catch and a gain of 35.
Well, finally, just a zone defense, and you'll see the underneath coverage there. Darian Thompson clear and avoid that zone, and then big, strong Des Bryant. He's healthy. He had a whole offseason to train, and he was excited about the rematch against Jackrabbit Jenkins.
Des gets a breather. 2 catches, 1 for 8, 1 for 35 at the 45-yard line. Prescott sets up the screen, but look out, he was right, because that was B.J. Goodson who takes care of Elliott as he makes the catch.
B.J. Goodson's a clever young man. So one thing I always really enjoyed about watching Clemson's defense on television and on film is they just fly. I mean, sometimes I wonder if they even know where they're going, but it's all about how fast can we collectively all go. And you're seeing that show up on the field tonight for B.J. Goodson.
Saw a lot of action in relief of Shepard last year. Now it's his job in the middle. It's 2nd down and 12.
What do you think?
Elliott through the middle. He goes to the 43-yard line. He's now gained 67 yards.
Feature matchup. There it is. Janoris Jenkins against Des Bryant. A little slip and fall there. Des let him know about that. Slant. Oh, wide open. Missed it. Physical play down the field. Jenkins got away with that one. Didn't get away with one later. Got away with this one too. I would argue there was probably more contact on those 2 plays than the one that Jenkins got called, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
3rd and 8. Look at this formation here. You've got right side. You've got Elliott behind Bryant. So Bryant tries to throw the block and does, but the rest of the Giants converge on him as he makes the catch. And the line of scrimmage will be the 43 with 4th and 7.
Yeah, and that was a really big play because they were hoping, I think, to get just enough, even if they didn't pick up the first down, to at least have a shot at a field goal, but they did not accomplish that. Pretty good open field tackling there by the Giants on Ezekiel Elliott.
And that Cowboy defense, which will go back on the field shortly, was on for 10 minutes, and this time of possession for the Cowboys only about 3.5. Cowboys milking that clock. We give the defense a little extra rest as much as they can as Harris makes a fair catch at the 10-yard line. A minute and a half to go in the third. 16-3 Cowboys. The original producer of Monday Night Football when he was in his 20s, made NBC an entertainment powerhouse in the 80s and 90s. Must-see TV during that particular time. Came back to produce Monday Night Football in 2000. Hired Fred Godelli and Drew Esikoff. And how has that worked out? Our thoughts and our prayers to LJ and Don's four boys. He was truly special and one of a kind. Manning goes deep downfield, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Brandon Marshall. So Don gone at the age of 72.
Tough, huh?
Yeah, it is, because those of us in the business, I mean, you think Roone Arledge and Dick Ebersol came up in that generation, and you know, Roone identified Don when Don was in his 20s and put him on Monday Night Football when that package started.
Some of the titans of the business.
Yes.
Just named off.
Yes, the Holy Trinity. You bet. Minute and a half remaining in the third. Second down and 10 from the 10-yard line. Manning throws, and that is caught by the tight end, Rhett Ellison. Talked about him earlier. Came over from Minnesota this offseason. His father, Ricky, might recall, with the 49ers, earned 3 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, and he's definitely opening up a new dimension for this offense. Very competitive guy. He's a fist fighter out there. You know, that didn't look like much, but it took a 2nd and 10 down to a 3rd and 1. And now this is where the Giants have to prove they have this ability. Can they convert these kinds of plays here with their running game?
3rd and 1, put a fullback in the game. That's Shane Smith, rookie out of San Jose State. Can they get that yard? They do. Some tough running there by Orleans Darkwa. First down, New York.
Let's take a look at the linebacker for the Cowboys, Jalen Smith. We told you about the injury, set out last year. Probably would have been a top 5 pick if not for that injury. The Cowboys really considered him to be a Luke Kuechly type player, so they were willing to give up that 2nd round choice because they thought he could be this, and he is running again like he did back in his days at Notre Dame.
So with 15 seconds remaining in the third, a flag is thrown. Carl Cheffers.
12 players were in the offensive formation. 5-yard penalty, first down.
1st and 15 now.
Opening day blues, huh? That hurts. You get a good first down, you get a little momentum, and now you go back to have to throw it around a little bit here. Shane Vereen back in the game. See if he can jumpstart him the way he did sort of at the beginning of the half.
Yeah, he's wide left. Now we'll go in motion. You got Marshall at the bottom of the screen. Marshall still hasn't caught one tonight. Now you've got another stoppage for the end of the quarter. 16-3. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya back to Arlington, 4th quarter. Dallas up by 13. It's 1st and 15 for the Giants. Empty backfield. Pass caught out the 23-yard line by Evan Ingram. And that'll make it 2nd down and about. As we look at the quarterback comparison, 2nd down and about 9. So Manning, good completion percentage, but not a lot of yardage. And Dak with 217 yards and that 1 touchdown pass to Jason Witten, the only touchdown of the game.
3 sacks on Eli, part of the story though.
4-man rush, and that's caught, and just a little short of the first down. Roger Lewis at the 33-yard line, tackled by Sean Lee. 3rd down and 1 for the Giants.
Yeah, nice play by Roger Lewis, but a chance to turn that one up and pick up that first down.
The Giants tonight on 3rd down are 3 out of 9.
Third and 1, go empty.
5 receivers. Little stack down the bottom of the screen. Manning, good protection, throws into traffic, and it is going to be hauled in, but a flag is down. Ingram, and now the other official comes in and says no. The line judge comes in with his view, and no, but a penalty.
On the play is an incomplete pass. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 96, Defense for unnecessarily throwing the quarterback to the ground. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That would be Malik Collins.
Yeah, and it wasn't the hit. It wasn't a late hit, but watch him now sling him to the ground, and that's what they got.
So they would have held him. It would have been 4th down and 1. Instead, it's 1st down as the Giants keep rolling up at the 47-yard line.
118, what's that?
Put Ellison in the backfield as the fullback. And look at that tackle. And that's Sean Lee. He's tremendous. He's had some huge games against the Giants. Had a career high in tackles last year overall. And he has been a real thorn in the Giants' side.
We talk about running backs. Watch the moves getting through here and getting past Rhett Ellison to make that tackle. He dips and lowers that shoulder, and just such a hard guy to block. It's amazing how hard it is just to make contact with him sometimes.
Huge difference when he can stay healthy. It's been a problem in the past. 2nd and 12 from the 45-yard line. Manning fires over the middle and too high. It's incomplete. The 3rd down and long. Intended for Lewis.
I tell you, Sean Lee is giving Eli Manning fits in there. He is just dropping right underneath and reading the eyes of Eli Manning and feeling where the receiver is. Watch him play this. He really didn't know where that receiver was, but he could sort of follow Eli's eyes and came right underneath it.
6 defensive backs in here against 3 wideouts. Manning stepping up, avoids the sack, flips it, incomplete for Marshall. Couldn't grab it. Only the 2nd time they've targeted Marshall tonight.
There was nobody on that half of the field. He might still be running up. The cornerback on that side ends up falling down over on that left side. There's nobody there. You hit him in stride and you at least have your first down.
So the Cowboy defense works its way through that personal foul, which gave the Giants a first down. This kick is allowed to go and bounce. And does it go into the end zone? It does. Just crossed before it came back for the touchback. Good break there for the Dallas Cowboys. Early in the 4th in Texans Thursday Night Football. A little before 8:30 on Thursday night. Be only on the NFL Network. So the Cowboys now from the 20-yard line after the punt touchback. Elliott. Speaking of Elliott, of course, most of you who follow football obviously know that he was going to be suspended for 6 games because of domestic violence incident with his ex-girlfriend in Columbus over a year ago. But they took it to court, and the judge agreed to halt, as you look at Jerry Jones and the Jones family, the suspension. The league may announce, we understand, tomorrow what their next move will be in terms of what they plan to do in the court system. So still to be determined. For the moment, Elliott gets to play. For how long, we don't know. 2nd down and 6. As Prescott gets hit as he throws, but does get it away, and the pass is incomplete. It'll be 3rd down. JPP got him.
There we go. The matchup we kept anticipating. JPP, Lyle Collins has been doing okay, but finally JPP escapes, and it probably is going to take a defensive play, Al. Based on what we've seen to this point, it may take a special play by the defense of the Giants to wake up this football team and give them a chance in this game.
And that man right there has made a couple of them in the years in which he has faced the Cowboys, and some really big ones.
Especially in this stadium, we've seen them.
Yeah, including a blocked field goal once that made the difference. 3rd down and 6, and that pass sails, and then somehow Beasley makes the catch.
Oh my gosh!
The Giants almost had an interception and maybe a pick 6, and the next thing you know, the Cowboys get a first down.
I've never seen that. I've never seen a guy catch it on his nameplate on the back. Watch this. He's going to pin into his back, and he's going to get it pinned to Beasley, and then keep his feet in bounds. Oh my goodness.
Not quite Tyree.
Wow.
But using the helmet to secure the ball before the 31-yard line. Elliott. Tough sledding, gain of 3. Pierre-Paul makes the tackle. Zeke 17 attempts, 74 yards. Let's go back and look at that play again.
They're going to have to make it illegal to put Stickum on your nameplate now. I've never seen this. I mean, I watch so many hours of football. Like it was casual, too. Cole Beasley, the leading receiver for the Cowboys a season ago, spent so much time with Dak Prescott, and you just see it paying off there.
Yeah. Odell shaking. He's made a few in his time.
Yeah. Remember that one I made on Sunday night?
Everybody does. Play fake. Prescott goes to Elliott. And he gets dragged out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Jonathan Casillas has had a good night. A lot of tackles. 3rd and a long 2.
Wasn't it interesting to hear Dak talk about when he was the 3rd-string quarterback last year? He played like a 3rd-string quarterback. Then Kellen Moore got hurt. Tony Romo took a couple days off. He got to run with the 1st-string offense. He said, I don't know what it was. It just elevated me. I felt like I belonged in that huddle. And then, of course, he did belong in that huddle as the season went along.
3rd down and 3. Here come the Giants. There's a screen. Elliott doesn't even need any blocking to get to the 32-yard line. Giants came and they got burned on a little swing out to Elliott, and that's good for 31 yards.
It almost had to be man coverage right in here, because when he escaped, there just was nobody out there. Like Casillas decided to try and make that into a read blitz, and then there was just nothing left on the outside. Clearly a blown coverage.
To the 32 now, Alfred Morris comes into the game to give Elliott a breather. Here's Morris. Flag is down. Kennard making the stop on the play.
Holding. Number 77 offense. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Tyron Smith, the #1 pick back in 2011, when the Cowboys' main priority was to rebuild their offensive line, which, of course, through the years, they did a phenomenal job of.
Yeah, you'll see it, and this happens sometimes when players get tired. Watch them just grab the chest plate and jersey in there. Pretty easy for the officials to see that one. Now here's the opportunity for the Giants defensively. They have to make a stand right now.
1st and 20. Fake to Morris. Prescott feeling the pressure. Throws a little high and through the hands of Terrence Williams. Had a big first half. Hasn't caught one here in the second half. It'll be 2nd down and 20.
Boy, that was some play by Landon Collins. He looked like he was beat on the play, and he hit the gas and caught up just in time. There he is. 3rd vote getter, and just barely caught up to that one. Now they need a sack. Now they need a sack fumble. Now they need ball tipped in the air. They need something on this drive. They have the advantage.
And worse, the stop. 2nd and 20. 3-man rush. Prescott goes deep downfield. 1-on-1. Bryant can't make the catch. Jenkins with the coverage, as has been the case all night long. 3rd down and long.
The two dance partners going at it one more time. And this one was really a pretty good throw by Dak Prescott. Gave his guy a chance. Jenkins turns his head, gives him a bump, probably just enough to knock him off his route. It's all those little subtleties of playing cornerback. As long as you turn your head around, you can get away with some of that. And even Dez getting a chuckle out of that one.
Yeah, one time earlier he did not. Jenkins was flagged, but not that time. 3rd down and 20.
Need 10 for a field goal shot.
And they won't get it. So the Giants do stiffen Beasley, an intended receiver, and Jones will have to come in for his 4th punt of the night.
Well, it's pretty tough if you're going to wait on Dak Prescott to throw you an interception. It doesn't happen much, does it? That was the most impressive part of that young man a season ago. all young players just tend to throw interceptions. Go all the way down to Peyton Manning, John Elway, but he really didn't. Just 4 on the year, I think.
Yeah, he had 176 attempts before he threw his first pick last year. Went well into the season.
The Giants got 2 of those 4 interceptions.
Jones. Fair catch call for made. Dwayne Harris at the 10. Once again, the Giants start deep in their own territory. 8.5 to go in Dallas. And capped off by a pretty terrific party, as we recall.
Yeah.
Is Roger Staubach up there?
Family affair for sure, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. From the 10-yard line, the Giants starting another drive deep in their own territory. Off play action, Manning is able to escape. Nearly got sacked, finds the open man down the sideline. And that's Evan Ingram, the tight end, the rookie, the #1 draft choice. Big gain, a gain of 30 yards.
Charles Tapper coming around. How does Eli feel this and step up? I thought that was sack, fumble, game over. Steps up and finds Ingram down the field. Great play by Eli.
Got around Bobby Hart. Giants convert. And now it is picked off, and it is a tug of war for the ball. Anthony Brown. Brown is there, and it's going to be ruled an interception.
The ruling on the field is an intercepted pass.
An intercepted pass. It was almost taken away, but the Cowboys, for the moment, pending a review, have it. Back we come to AT&T Stadium after the interception, which was confirmed. They look at all turnovers, obviously, and the Cowboys have it in midfield. Starts from the 48-yard line, about halfway through the 4th quarter. Elliott into Giant territory before he gets bent back. Tough gain of 3. And back we go to the pick.
Yeah, just a zone defense, and Brown really did fool Eli. It looked like he was going to take the guy in the flat, but you will see how wide open Sterling Shepard was on this play. Brown just gave him a little fake move to the outside, came back underneath, and you just can't think of how many times that we've seen Odell Beckham take those slants the distance, and those jump start plays just aren't there tonight.
Lewis couldn't rip it back. Here goes Elliott to the outside, turns the corner. Before he goes out of bounds, he has a first down. Elliott on his way to a 100-yard night has 86. Of course, the entire NFL family committed to supporting relief efforts for Hurricanes Harvey and Irma. We invite fans all across the country join us in the huddle for relief for those who continue to be affected by the storms. Visit redcross.org/NFL or text Red Cross to 90999 to donate $10 to the American Red Cross Hurricane Relief.
Scary stuff.
Oh, terrible. 40-yard line, first down for the Cowboys. The false start.
Number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Tyron Smith.
Tyron Smith, not quite the year he's had in the past. Had some back-end shoes and different things, but there aren't many players more respected than that. The other offensive linemen sort of consider him this superhuman being.
Hey, go.
First down and 15. Fake to Elliott. Prescott dances away, throws a little low, but Witten is there to scoop it.
Wow.
For a little bit of a gain here. Was a first and 15.
Watch Dak psych out Jason Pierre-Paul and then throw a low, hard dart where only Jason Witten could catch it. Little pump fake to get JPP in there, and watch this little sidearm delivery down low where only his big tight end can make the play.
Picks up 10 yards into second down and 5. Elliott. You know, as good as the Cowboys offense is, You know what's really been impressive tonight? That defense. Last year they were the best against the run. They were 26th against the pass. They got rid of 4 guys, Carr and Claiborne and Wilcox among them. And they go out and they draft a bunch of kids. That secondary is totally revamped, and they've done a tremendous job tonight.
Yeah, and all the new looks for the Dallas defense and the same old questions about the New York Giants offensive line and pass protection. And clearly tonight that was the bigger issue. The Dallas Cowboys defensively answered the call.
3rd and 4. Elliott. And that will pick up a first down and chew up more of the clock. 21 carries, 93 yards.
You get a little desperate this time, and Jason Pierre-Paul tries to jump inside to get the pass rush move, and here comes Ezekiel Elliott without any edge contained. That's what makes him so tough. He can do that jump cut, but he has the speed to make you pay for it. Some backs don't.
On the 28. Clock-eating drive continues. 8-yard gain for Elliott behind a Jason Witten block, second and a deuce. Next Sunday night, take a look at that. That's the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, and it's the Falcons against the Green Bay Packers. Two teams that met in the NFC Championship game. We understand, weather permitting, that roof will open. It'll be a great scene next Sunday night in Atlanta. Packers, Falcons on Sunday Night Football. Both teams winning today.
Two of the great quarterbacks in the game.
Ryan and Rodgers going at it next Sunday night. That's the feature attraction. Morris is the back here. And Alfred Morris is chugging his way for what should be a first down to the 18-yard line. And the Giants up against the gun right now are going to have to start taking their timeouts on defense.
You know, it's sort of interesting to me that it was Alfred Morris that won the backup running back job over Darren McFadden, who probably a little faster, but you know, Alfred Morris had some big seasons playing with the Washington Redskins, and really this preseason he just earned the job.
We might have seen both of them in the lineup had Elliott been suspended, but Morris would have been clearly the #1 guy. Guy who came over from Washington not that many years ago. He and RG3 were going to be the resurrection of that franchise. Hardly turned out that way. 18-yard line. This time Morris gets taken down at the 21 by Snacks Harrison, and timeout taken here by the Giants. Back at 30. 2:27 left in regulation. Only 1 touchdown in the game tonight. That was Jason Witten. In the second quarter, you got 3 Bailey field goals. The Giants limited to 1 Rosas field goal. And it's second down and 14. So the Giants, 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Have to limit them to, at worst, a field goal to give it a 2-possession game. Through the middle, down to the 18-yard line goes Elliott. And the Giants take their second timeout with 2:19 left in.
Talking with Sean Lee on the sideline. Eberflus in charge of the passing defense, and that's been fantastic. The run defense has been fantastic. Overall, that defensive staff has done it again. When there were major questions coming into a second straight season, they just keep getting it done.
Here's Elliott on a 3rd down, and that'll take the Giants. Well, they're going to let the clock run down and save that last timeout. Could have taken it on this side of the 2-minute warning, but choose to get to the 2-minute warning, save the timeout, and Bailey will come in to try to make this a 19-3 game on the other side of the 2-minute warning on Sunday Night Football. Season debut. Before we will wrap it up, Chris and I look ahead to next Sunday night's Packers-Falcons matchup coming up right after the game. So here goes Bailey now. This will be a 36-yard attempt to make it a 16-point game, and Bailey tonight is a perfect 4 for 4. Giants will have the football with 1:55 and 1 timeout.
Yeah,
Next Sunday, first race of the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series playoffs, live from Chicagoland Speedway at 3 Eastern Time on NBC-SN next Sunday.
You know, the Giants thought they were better equipped this year to play without Odell Beckham, but haven't seen much proof of that. Now, superstar players in any sport, they tilt the field. You know, whether it's basketball, football, whatever you want to talk about. But Odell Beckham has a way of creating opportunities for other, and so now this streak remains alive. They finished the last 5 games of the regular season, then the playoff game all under 20 points, and unless they have some kind of crazy rally, that number is just going to keep dwindling. So they have to come up with answers.
Under would be the key word. Hello?
Aloha.
Aloha Nui. 4 yards deep. This is Dwayne Harris coming out of the end zone. And Harris gets around the corner, but not for very long. Good special teams coverage. Well, you look at Beckham's first 3 years, so many spectacular catches, and the numbers are just as spectacular. Last year, 101 grabs. Every year over 1,300 in yardage and 35 touchdowns. Will they get him back next week? We don't know.
Well,
the Monday night game against Detroit.
I don't know how healthy he'll be, but I have to say, if I were on that staff, I would at least line him up a few times and see if he could trick them, or at least make them cover him over there some, because they're not winning the one-on-one battles.
And Manning throws short, and getting out of bounds is Shane Vereen. The other story, I mean, the Giants go out and they get Brandon Marshall and go, you know, we'll have Marshall and we'll have Beckham. Marshall has 0 catches tonight, and he's only been targeted twice.
Yeah, and I think the Giants thought Ingram would have been a bigger factor than he's been too.
2nd and 6, and over the middle it's Vereen. If Marshall doesn't catch a ball in the waning moments here, it'll be the first time since he was a rookie, and he's been in the league 12 seasons now, that he hasn't caught a pass. 3rd and 1. And this is Roger Lewis taking it out to the 40-yard line. Giants taking a ton of time here. 2-possession game. Ball at the 40-yard line. Eli in the pocket, over the middle again, trying to get to the sideline, but not even close. Vereen is stopped at the 50-yard line with under a minute to play in the 4th. Giants tonight just over 200 yards in offense. The Cowboys have almost 400. And Manning will get it away.
He went down.
He was not in the. He was not outside the tackle box, so the flag gets thrown because it was Benson Mayowa who got him in his grasp.
Interesting to see whether the ball was out of his hand or not, as his knee hit the ground.
Holding.
It was close.
Number 74 offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's all about Eric Flowers, the left tackle, with a holding call.
Eric Flowers going to set hard and give up the loop back inside. Yes, his quickness may be better, but sometimes you see Eric Flowers on the outside and he has to kick that left foot back so far. There's the knee on the ground. That should have been a sack.
Right. 2nd and 11. Shoulder shake by Manning. The pass is errant. Evan Ingram, the intended receiver.
One of the things about Eric Flowers, he needs to kick that left foot back really far to be able to get. See how far back that foot is? To be able to get back to some of those speed rushers. But one of the things it does is it locks him up when he wants to make a play blocking in the running game. When he has to move to his right, he just can't move that right foot first.
Green will get out of bounds. So interesting. That would be bad technique as opposed to Tyron Smith, his opposite number with the Cowboys, who everybody talks about has the best technique they've seen.
Pretty amazing technique. But for Eric Flowers, he has to survive the passing game and then worry about the run game secondarily, because he has to protect Eli.
Last gasp for the Giants here on 4th and 5, and Manning will throw it to Vereen. And Vereen will be tackled inbounds at the 49-yard line. The clock is down almost to 20 seconds. take their final timeout here with 23
Third
ticks.
final charge timeout, Giants.
All right, so the Cowboys, let's look ahead a little bit here. Open with a win tonight. Then next week they go to Denver. Then they go to Arizona. Then they get the Rams. Big win for Sean McVay in his debut today against Indianapolis. Green Bay comes here, and then their bye week comes fairly early before they go to San Francisco and Washington.
Yeah, those teams on the schedule all of a sudden are looking at the Cowboys going, can we beat them?
Yep. They got the Giants, Detroit on the Monday night. Then they have to go to Philly. They have to go to Tampa Bay. Chargers going to New York, and then at Denver. We'll have that game for you week 6 on Sunday night.
So your only chance is to throw a Hail Mary here because you have to score twice. Probably won't. That's just meaningless.
Not quite a Hail Mary.
Yeah, it's meaningless. I mean, you want to take a shot to win the game, right? Your only chance is to hit a Hail Mary, onside kick, hit another Hail Mary. So I'd line up and take a shot.
And two two-point conversions.
Well, that's easy to do. We saw that in the Super Bowl, too.
And 16 partridges and 46 pear trees.
That doesn't help. It does give Marshall
Well, how about that? It does get Brandon Marshall a catch. So there is one. His first as a Giant. And this barring a defensive foul will be the final play of the game. You got a penalty here. So the game is not officially over. Cowboy fans already celebrating. Cowboys already coming out onto the field.
False start. Number 89 offense. Player number 89 was going from a 2-point to a 3-point stance. That foul involves a 10-second runoff. That's the end of the game.
Quite an explanation for a game. It's been over for a little while here. All right, the final score is 19-3 Dallas. Coming up next, stick around for the Volkswagen post-game report after these messages.